Very good evening to all of you. I hope my voice is audible and directly to the topic. Good evening to all of you. Whether my voice is audible? Good evening.
Audible, sir. You can go.
Yeah. So, what is the last topic we discussed in previous class? We are discussing about Negotiable Instrument Act and we just started discussing about promissory note, maker, payee, illustrations we discussed. I think we have to start bill of exchange, correct? Do you agree? We need to discuss about bill of exchange. Yes. Okay. So, what is this bill of exchange? What is this bill of exchange? Any idea about bill of exchange? Just share your views. Just share your views. Any idea about bill of exchange? Bill of exchange is a negotiable instrument or not? Just tell me. Just like we will start with 1 mark. Bill of exchange is a negotiable instrument or not? Yes, sir. What about others? Yes, sir. Good. Yes, yes, yes. So we will get into the definition first. Then I will give an explanation. A bill of exchange is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order signed by the maker, directing a certain person to pay a certain sum of money only to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. A bill of exchange is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order, signed by the maker, directing a certain person to pay a certain sum of money only to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. So, what is this meaning of this bill of exchange? It is an instrument. It is an instrument. Instrument means validly transferable. It creates some legal rights. That is what we can say instrument. So they are creating one instrument. Who is creating? Is created by the maker, signed by the maker. Who is the maker? Say for example, A supplied goods to B. A supplied goods to B. B needs to pay amount to the A, correct? A is supplying goods to B, okay? And A is a creditor or B is a creditor here now? A is supplying goods to B. Now who is a creditor and who is a debtor here? A, sir. A is the creditor and B is a debtor, correct? Who is a creditor and who is a debtor? A supplied goods to B for credit. B need to pay. He didn't pay the amount yet. B is a debtor. A is a creditor. Okay. Then what about others? B debtor. Okay. So understood the basic. Then what A will do now? You have to pay me the money. Okay. Then I will create one document called bill of exchange. I will write that B needs to pay so and so amount to so and so amount. Okay. And A will create this document and he will get the acceptance from B. And he will get the acceptance from B. B needs to sign that document. B needs to sign, yes, I have to pay this much amount. That should be signed by B. Debtor should sign the document. Then what A will do now? A will tell to B, okay, instead of paying to me, you pay directly to C. Instead of paying to me, you pay directly to C. You got it or not? A and C is having some business or whatever it is, so that he wants to, A has to pay some amount to C actually. So A is directing to B. So don't pay to me. Instead of paying to me, you directly pay to C. That is the order is in the that bill of exchange. So A is the drawer actually. He only prepares the document. What he is writing now, you have to pay me this much amount. Accept that first. Once he accepted, na, then he is a drawee person who is accepted the ready to pay. And pay is the person actually going to receive the money. That is C actually. A is willing to B, you have to pay me this much amount, but you need not to pay to me, you pay to C. So A is the drawer, B is the drawee, C is the payee. You got it or not? Bearer or whatever it is, whoever is having that document, they can also receive the money. Bearer or order to some person, specific person. Okay, understood. This is called the concept of bill of exchange. It is written in some document and it is created by the drawer, and some maker is also, and drawer and drawee also needs to accept, yes, I have to pay. Then that can be transferable to any person, the bearer or any particular person. Okay, the transfer means that can be paid to the ultimate bearer or the person who is there, who is the payee in the document. Okay, so drawer who gives the order to pay or who makes the bill is called the drawer. The drawer is the person who gives the order to pay. A is telling order, A is ordering to B. Who makes the bill is called drawer. A only creates a document. So the drawee, the person who is directed to pay is called the drawee. When the drawee accepts the bill, he is called the acceptor. Yes, accept, yes, accept, yes, I will pay. B will accept. B will accept in the document, yes, I will pay this much amount. Okay, the person who is directed to pay is called drawee. Yes, who is directed to pay means A is directing to B, you pay this much amount, and B is also accepting. Then he is a drawee as well as acceptor. Then payee, the third point is pay. The person to whom the payment is to be made is called the payee. A is telling to B, you don't pay to me, rather you pay directly to C. Then C becomes payee. Or bearer of that bill of exchange will be the receiver of the amount. All these things should happen in good faith, within for some consideration, and within the period of maturity. Everything will have some validity now. Within that period only this can be enforced or this can be encashed. After that period it is not possible. So due date we have to see, maturity date, all those things. Understood? Shall I proceed further? Understood? Shall I proceed further? Okay. Requisite of a bill of exchange. Requirement. Bill of exchange means what are the features or what are the aspects covered under the bill of exchange. What is required to constitute particular item as a bill of exchange. If these things should be there for call it as a particular instrument as a bill of exchange. What are those factors? We will see the factors. A bill of exchange must be drawn unconditionally through the acceptor or the endorser may make as in liability conditional. Direction of payment by the drawer must not be made to depend upon a contingency. They should not say nothing should be contingent in the document. It may or may not, or after this period, after this event only I will pay, like that they should not write. Contingency should not be there in the document. That's what they are saying. Therefore, it is the essence of bill of exchange that it should be payable at all events and must appear so on its face. Only amount, time is matter. And the pay, receiver, bearer or pay, all these things only matter. He has to accept, dry should accept, these things only matter. There should not be any contingency. If Friday rain comes, then only I will pay to you. Like that, it is not acceptable. There should not be any contingency. All event it should be paid, honored. The consideration of bill of exchange should be paid only by way of money. Money only. On this date, you have to pay me 50,000. If you don't pay 50,000, instead of that, you give Apple iPhone free. Instead of that 50,000, you give him an Apple iPhone. That is not acceptable. Money means money you have to pay. Okay. The amount to be paid should be certain. You should not simply say you should pay below 1 lakh rupees. You should pay below 50,000 rupees. It is not like that. You have to exactly mention the amount. Okay. You have to exactly mention the amount. The time of payment must be indicated in the bill with certainty. The time of payment must be indicated in bill with certainty. Yes, of course, when I have to pay, what is the last date for payment? After that, it is not possible to encash. So before that period, you have to pay. Order to pay. Order in this section does not mean a command, but a request for direction. Order means just not that I'm ordering. It's like a request. I'm ordering B to pay. And B is also accepted the order, bill of exchange. Okay. It is essential that a bill of exchange should point out with certainty the party who enters into the contract imported by terms that the signature of the drawer is necessary and there cannot be a bill even if the instrument is accepted without the signature of the drawer. Drawer also should sign, drawee also should sign. That is, drawee is an acceptor. Drawer is the person who is creating the document. He is actual creditor. And he is obtaining sign from the drawee, that he is an acceptor, he is a debtor. Okay. It must indicate a drawee who should be called on to accept or pay it. Yes, drawee, A, B is a drawee, B I have to indicate. The drawee must be named or otherwise indicated in the bill with reasonable certainty. Yes, what is the name, address, location, phone number, PAN number, everything I will mention. Point 8. It should specifically mention the date and the place, the payment or the place where it is drawn. It should be specifically mention the date and place. Yes, place or date, whatever it is, date should be there at least. Every bill of exchange must be stamped according to the provision of the Indian Stamp Act. This is important. A promissory note and stamp should be the bill or promissory note or bill of exchange should be properly stamped, and then we have to get the signature also. So what is the next thing? So up to this understood, can I proceed for check? Check. Yeah. Check is also a type of kind of bill of exchange. Check is also a kind of bill of exchange only. You got it or not? Check is also a kind of bill of exchange. But there are some difference between check and bill of exchange. Okay, we will understand what it is. So first I will go through the theory. Check is a bill of exchange drawn upon a specified banker on and payable on demand, and it includes the electronic image of a truncated check and check in the electronic form. What they are saying, check is also a type of bill of exchange drawn upon a specified banker. Banker is the debtor now. Banker has to pay. Okay, and payable on demand. That is what different. Bill of exchange normally some timelines will be there on this within before this date you have to pay. But in this case of check, anytime whenever I'm presenting the check, they have to bank has to pay the amount. There is no time for bank. Only processing time 1 or 2 days. That is a procedural aspect, operational aspect. Other than that, whenever the check is given, presented, they have to pay to the customer. That is the job of banker. Okay, but in case of bill of exchange, there will be some timeline within before 13 days or on or before 30 days, like that there will be timing. But here it is not like that. Whenever a check is presented with the bank, they have to pay. I hope all of you know the meaning of check, general meaning. Okay, it is also a type of bill of exchange upon a specified banker and payable on demand, and it includes electronic image of truncated check and check in the electronic form. Check means normally they will give one paper na, that paper they will write bank name, customer name, how much amount, in words, amount, whether it is a lot of types of check is also there, that I will come. So after receiving this hard copy, you know, after receiving this hard copy, it will be processed further. How they will process? The check is sent to the relevant related bank. Then they will do some working. They will do some verification whether sign is there, sign is matching correctly, or whether the amount is matching correctly, whether that fellow is having sufficient fund, and also that magnetic code will be there. No, that also they will check. After that, what they will do? They will make a soft copy. They will make a soft copy of this hard copy. Simply they will scan and sign. They will scan the check. Then the check becomes truncated check. Okay, electronic image of a truncated check. The hard copy, they will take an electronic scan. They will scan and they will have a everything. They will make it soft copy nature, because anywhere you cannot carry the hard copy. What they will do after making soft copy, then they will process further for realizing the transferring the money. They will process further. That is called truncated. Electronic image of a truncated check and check in the electronic form. Sometimes electronic form check is there, but that is different. But sometimes from hard copy to soft copy they will convert by doing lot of process, by doing scanning. So that is another process, that is called truncated check. We will understand further. We'll understand. Here it is mentioned what is electronic check, what is truncated check. We'll understand. First, electronic form. A check in the electronic form means check which contain exact mirror image of a proper check and is generated, written, and signed in a secure system, ensuring the minimum safety standard with the use of digital signature and asymmetric crypto system. I have a checkbook with me. The same checkbook I'm maintaining in electronic format also. I have a checkbook with me. The same checkbook I'm also maintaining electronic format. So I have two options now. I can sign the manual check. That is one option. Another option is electronic form check. What I will do? I have a digital signature. My signature is also digital. I will not sign manually. Simply I have one key, digital key. I hope you remember this information technology. There is something called what you can say. There is something related to key. Anyone can guess? There is something asymmetric, symmetric, all those things. Public key, private key. So that is all about related to digital signature. So this with the help of digital signature, I will sign my digital check. Everything is digital. I will not put a manual signature. Okay, that is called electronic form of check. Another one is truncated check. Second para I am reading. A truncated check means a check which is truncated during the course of a clearing cycle, either by clearing house or by bank, whether paying or receiving payment, remedial and generation of electronic image of for transmission subject to the further physical movement of the check in writing. What they will do, they will receive the physical check first, then bank employees will be there, they will do lot of verification and they will make a scanned copy of this check and they will convert for further process. They will transfer the soft copy for further processing. That is called, you know, clearing cycle. Clearing cycle. Back office team, they will do these jobs in bank actually. Okay. Clearing house. Clearing house means house managed by Reserve Bank of India, or clearing house recognized as such by Reserve Bank of India. Clearing house is nothing but they will do this clearing job. Check clearing team will be there. Receiving check, verifying the check, signature matching, amount matching, account money is there, everything they will check. And MICR magnetic thing, they will do it something and they will clear the check further for processing. Okay. A check is a species of a bill of exchange. It's a type of bill of exchange, you can say. Species of a, it's a part of one of the variety of the bill of exchange. It has the following, but it has the following two additional qualifications. They have some additional nature. What is that nature? It always drawn on a, it is always drawn on a specified banker. I will, yes, of course, my banker has to pay. If I sign the check and present it, my banker should pay. And it is always payable on demand. Whenever I am asking, my banker should pay. Banker should not say, come after 10 days, come after 12 days. Okay. Parties. There are three parties to bill of exchange. Instead of bill of exchange, I can say there are three parties to check, we can say, because check is also a bill of exchange. So three parties to bill of exchange. Who? Drawer, drawee, payee. Drawer means who is holding that check, who is going to make everything. He will sign the check actually. The customer who signs the check is called drawer. He is having the check. From his account only it is going to be paid. So he is having the power to sign the document. So that is called drawer. Drawee, the bank on whom the check is drawn is called drawee. Who is going to pay? Bank has to pay. Then they becomes drawee. He need not to, banker will not accept. It is not like that acceptance and all. If account balance is there, then they will pay. We need not to get acceptance from bank while every check. Okay. Payee, the person to whom the payment is to be made is called the payee. Drawer is writing someone name in the check. Pay to yes, Gauri Shankaran, or pay to Preeti, or pay to Vishwa. Like that, they will write the name. Drawer will write the name of the payee. Then payee can present that check to bank, and they can he can collect the money from bank also. The drawer is the person who is signed the check. Drawer is the person who is going to pay. That is, banker here is going to pay. The pay is the person who is going to receive the money. So three peoples. Sometimes drawer itself can receive the money. Drawer will write self check. Drawer will write self. He will present the check and he will collect the money. Then drawer and pay become same person. Requisite of a check. What are the nature characteristics to form a particular instrument as a check? Okay. So up to this understood? Up to this understood, shall I proceed further? Requisites of a check. So requisite of a check. Okay. A check must be an order in writing. Yes, definitely. Definitely it is an order in writing. Oral nothing. Oral nothing will happen. Only writing everything will happen. It must contain an unconditional order. Yes. Pay to Gokul means then they have to pay to Gokul. You got it or not? then they should not ask further questions. A check must be signed by the maker, drawer, that is called drawer. Yes, maker is the drawer here. He is writing. He should be signed, then only it is valid. Amount must be specifically mentioned in figures and words. Both should match. That also important. 50,000 in numbers, 50,000 in words. Both should match. Okay. Then a check may be drawn payable to order or bearer. There are two kinds of checks prevailing nowadays. There are two kinds of check prevailing nowadays. What are the check? Bearer or order check and a self check. Bearer or order check means who is having the check in the hand. Say for example, blank check, you can say bank check or bearer. Simply you fill the amount, simply you fill the, you sign the document, you sign the check, you fill the amount, that's it. And you are mentioning bearer. Who is having that check in hand, they can go to bank directly and they can collect the money. Order means I'm ordering, pay to this fellow in cash or transfer to account. That is another thing I will explain. Okay, that is order. Self check means I'll write simply self. That means I will present means they will give it to me myself itself. Just I'm receiving money from my account. I have a checkbook. Just I'm presenting the check and I'm collecting account money from my account itself. That is self. I am self withdrawal. So I'm using for my purpose. I'm withdrawing myself. Okay. The check must contain the date. Definitely, check must contain the date. How many months checks are valid nowadays? Tell me. I'm asking one general question. How many months checks are valid nowadays? Tell me. 3 months. 3 months. What about others? 3 months. What about others? No idea. 3 months. Good. Yes, check is valid from the date of issue, no? From the date mentioned in the check. From that date, 3 months is valid for check. Pay to be certain. 7th point. Pay to be certain. Yes, pay to be certain. To whom we are going to pay, that should be clearly mentioned. Then, who can cross a check? What is crossing a check? What is the next thing? Who can cross a check? Yes. What is crossing check? What is crossing check? As we discussed above, crossing the check. Okay. First, you should know what is crossing check. Then we will think about who can cross a check. Any idea? Crossing check. Check, crossed check. Only credit the amount of the person. Crossing check means what? Any idea? What do you mean by crossing check? What do you mean by crossing check? The amount directly paid to bank account. Good. What about others? Transferring cash to the account, sir. Okay. What about others? Only credit the amount of person named in check. Nothing is no name is mentioned in check. Simply the crossing. Crossing means drawing two lines in the left side of the check, left side, corner of the left side of the check, left side corner of the check, they will cross two lines. That's it. Which means that check cannot be used for cash withdrawal. That check cannot be used for cash withdrawal from the bank. Directly, you cannot receive the cash by surrendering that check. By depositing that check, you cannot get cash from the banker. Crossing means the only bank transfer is eligible. Directly, we have to transfer to the person who is holding the check. That person is eligible for transferring to his account. We cannot give cash in hand to that person who is presenting the check. Account payee, we can say account payee also, and co, like that, which means it cannot be, amount cannot be paid in hand. Only you have to transfer to your account, credit to your account. Okay, that is called crossing check. In crossing check, there are many other things. We will discuss that. We will discuss that later. Who will cross the check generally? I'm the owner of the check. I'm the ultimate, drawer of the check. I'm going to sign the check. While signing itself, what I will do, sometimes I will cross the check and I will hand over. Sometimes I will forget to cross and I will simply hand over the check to the holder. Payee, I'm going to hand over the check to the payee. Then payee, sometimes what he will do now, for the safety purpose, he will cross the check. If drawer forget to cross the check, means payee also can cross the check, because it is a safety measure. What safety I am getting? You cannot withdraw cash from the bank. Only account transfer is eligible. That is the safety I am going to get. So I am writing here. I am just reading here. Who can cross a check? As we have discussed above, comma, by crossing the check, the drawer instruct the banker to not to pay it over the counter. Counterler don't pay. Not to pay it to over the counter, counterler don't pay, but only credit to the account of the person named therein. It adds the security and thus ensured payment to the payee or to his order. A check may be crossed by any of the following person. What they are saying, should be paid, it should not be paid over the counter, and it is paid to person name whose name mentioned in the check, to his bank account only, not in the hand. Okay, that's what they are saying. A check may be crossed by any of the following person. Who can cross the check now? That we will see. The drawer of a check, the owner, actually the original person who is drawing the check na, signing the check na, he himself can cross the check. He is crossing means he is saying, pay this money to this fellow only his bank account, not in cash. Then point number B, the holder of a check, full stop. The holder of a check. Holder of check means I am the drawer, actually I am writing on check, I am signing the check, but I did not made any crossing. Simply I hand over the bearer check to bearer check means just I am writing name, Sureka. I am going to pay money to Sureka. Amount is 50,000 only. I am signing the check and I am handing over the check to Sureka. Sureka is the holder of the check now. Sureka is the holder of the check because she is carrying the amount check. She is carrying the check with herself. What she will do? She does not. She is not interested in withdrawing cash. She wants only bank transfer, and she may not be able to present herself. So what she will do? Simply she will cross in check. That means Sureka can get the money from banker by only bank transfer. not by cash. You got it or not? But here the crossing is done by holder of the check, not drawer of the check. Drawer forgot to crash. Drawer forgot to cross actually. But holder of the check crossing and submitting to the bank, presenting to the bank. And also crossing the two types, general crossing, special crossing, that we will discuss later. What is general crossing, what is special crossing? And the third point, one more person can cross, that also we will discuss later. That point will be covered in subsequent pages. I will discuss that. Now I am going to due date. Due date of a bill or note. This is not applicable to check. This due date is not applicable to check. This due date is applicable only to bill of exchange or promissory note. Every instrument payable otherwise then on demand is entitled to 3 days of grace. Instrument not entitled to period of grace or a check, a bill or note payable on demand, or bill or note in which no time is mentioned. Understood? So what they are saying? Say for example, bill due date is 31st March. Bill due date is 31st March. On 31st March, before 31st March, this fellow should pay the amount to me. But as per this negotiable instrument, what they are saying now, 31st March plus 3 days. Grace days. That 3 days is called grace days. So 1st April, 2nd April, 3rd April. 3 days is allowed. Okay. Due date plus 3 days is given as a grace date for repayment of the due. So whenever bill is matured, still that fellow is having opponent, the debtor is having 3 days additional days as a grace days. After that only you can ask the money from them. So that is called grace days. Okay. Every instrument payable, comma, otherwise, comma, then on demand is entitled to 3 days of grace, full stop. See, remember 3 days of grace, full stop. Instruments not entitled to period of grace. Which instrument not entitled to period of grace days? First one is check, because check 3 months. Check is payable on demand generally. You cannot ask 3 days and all. 3 days and all not allowed. Whenever I'm presenting check, pay immediately money. Within 24 hours, you pay me. Because why 24 hours? Because 24 hours, they will take it for processing, check processing purpose. But they have to pay it immediately. Check whenever, check is always on demand. There is no timeline for check. Whenever I present check, if the customer is having bank balance, then you pay that amount immediately. Okay. So next point is a bill or note payable on demand. A bill or note payable on demand. A bill or note in which no time is mentioned. No time is mentioned. Anytime you have to pay means anytime I have to pay. Payable on demand is like that only. Whenever I'm asking, you should pay. Instrument entitled to period of grace or bill of note payable on specified day. Yes, of course. Instruments entitled to period of grace. Grace period is which instrument is having grace period? Date, if I mention from that date itself, 3 days extra. A bill or note payable after sight. Bill of note payable after sight is equivalent to on demand only. But why they are including here, I don't know. Because bill or note payable on demand, no grace date is available. Grace days means anytime you have to, on demand means what? Anytime you have to pay me. No grace days allowed for you. Okay. So a bill or note payable at a certain period and happening of certain event. Okay, all these things, period of grace days is applicable. So I'm reading further. So in case of time bill or note, it becomes due on the last day of grace period. Where an instrument is payable by installment, each installment is due 3 days after the date fixed for payment of the installment. What is after sight? After sight is similar to demand. Whenever I'm asking, demanding, you have to pay. So logically, that should not come under period of grace, but they included. So now I'm reading the next para. So in case of time bill or note, it becomes due on the last day of grace period. Yes, of course, 3 days I gave you time. 31st March means first I will wait, second I will wait, third I will wait. Before third you have to pay me. You got it or not what I'm saying? 31st March is the due date. Extra 3 days. 1, 2, 3. On third day evening you have to pay me. Okay. So then, so in case of time bill or note, it becomes due on the last day of grace period. Where an instrument is payable by installment, each installment is due 3 days after the date fixed for payment of the installment. If the due date falls on a public day, the bill becomes due on immediately preceding business day. If the month in which the period is to terminate has no corresponding, the period will terminate on the last day of the month. What they are saying? Due date plus 3 days is the grace period. If the due date becomes Sunday, what will happen? If the due date is on Sunday, then what is the procedure? They are saying if the due date is on Sunday, then due date becomes Saturday itself, one day prior to the holiday. That's what they are saying. If the due date become public holiday, if the due date become public holiday means if the due day is coming on Independence Day, then before the Independence Day itself, what is the day? Then that day is the due date. One day before they are taking as a due date. Okay. So with this example, we will go through. A bill dated 6th February 2016 is made payable 90 days after the date. Then what is the due date for this one? 6th February from, I'm writing one bill 6th February 2016. It is payable within 90 days. It is payable 90 days after this date. Which means 6th or 90 days how much? 6th 90 days how much? Something is coming. Say for example, it is coming 6th March 2016. It is coming 6th March. That's what they have taken here. 6th March 2016. Assume 6th March 2016 is the March or May. Sorry, 6th 90 days now. May will come because February to March, March to April, April to May. 3 months. 3 months will come. Correct. 3 months will come. So assume I'm not going to calculate 100% correctly because there is some error. What I'm going to do is according to answer, I'm going to adjust the question accordingly. So what I'm going to do, 6th February is the bill date and 6th May is the due date. Assume 6th May 2016 is the due date. Then how many days available for grace days? Tell me. From 6th May, how many days available grace days? 6th May is the due date. Assume 6th May is the due date. From the 6th May, how many days available as a grace days? 3 days. So 3 days means 7th will come, 8th will come, 9th will come. So 9th is the last date for the payment. 9th is the last date for the payment. 9th evening they have to pay. You got it? So there is some error. Maybe accordingly I'm just adjusting the examples also. Okay. A bill dated 1st January 2016 is made payable 1 month after date. It falls due on 3rd March 2016. A bill it made payable 1 month after the date. 1 month means assume it is due on 31st March. Sorry, 31st January 2016 it is getting due. If 31st January 2016 is the due date means how many days grace days is available? 1, 2, 3. I think here they should mention 3rd February, not 3rd March. Correct or wrong? Correct. I'm correct. Because bill dated is 1st January 2016. From that, if you add 30 days now, 31st March, 31st January 2016 will come. 31st January 2016 will come. From that to 3 days now, how many days? 1st January 2016 plus 30 days means 31st January will come, correct? Plus 3 days means 3rd February 2016. 3rd February 2016 is the correct answer, not 3rd March 2016. There is some error, I think so. Definitely there is an error. Okay, 3rd February 2016 is the correct answer. All of you understood? All of you understood? Yes. Okay. So another thing, a bill falls due on 9th May 2016, which happens to be a Sunday, public holiday. If bills dues on public holiday means then due date is prior to the public holiday, which is not an holiday. Which is not an holiday. Say for example 8th May in this case. 8th May is a Saturday. So one day before itself we have to count it. Independence Day. Before that day itself is the due date. That is what happened here. A bill's dues on 9th May, which is happens to be a Sunday, means Sunday is a public holiday. Then due date becomes 8th May 2016. One day prior, it becomes due date. Understood? Okay. Next thing, payment in due course. What is this payment in due course? What is due course? What is due course? What is due course? So before getting into the payment in due course, I'll give you 5 to 10 minutes break. So time is 5:26. So 5:35 we will meet. Okay? 5:35 we will meet. Then we will discuss this topic. I'll give you 10 minutes time. If you have any doubts, please you can continue your messages in chat box. I will ready to reply during this break time also. Okay? So we will continue payment in due course. What is this? Payment in due course. What is this payment in due course? Someone has messaged during the tenure of the bill. Good. During the tenure of the due course means before maturity. Before maturity, payment in due course means it is going to be paid before during the maturity or on maturity, like that. Okay. Due course means legally valid payment, legally enforceable payment. Okay. Everything has happened properly. It is a genuine contract. There is a consideration. There is a period of time, and the payment is also happening with as per the due date. So that is called payment in due course. Payment in due course means payment in accordance with the apparent tenor of the instrument. Apparent tenor means duration. Accordance with the apparent tenor, apparent duration of the instrument in good faith. Good faith and without negligence to any person in possession thereof. You should not try to cheat any person. That's what they are saying. Payment is made to correct person with good faith and without negligence. The payment to the person in possession of the instrument must be under circumstances which do not afford a reasonable ground for believing that he is not entitled to receiving a payment of the amount mentioned in the instrument. The person who is receiving the amount, he should not suspect, like he should not have doubt whether we should receive this payment or someone else should receive this payment. Like that, he should not get confused. Yes, he has to feel that yes, I am going to receive this payment because I am legally eligible to receive this payment. I am the receiver of this payment. Like that, he has to feel. That's what they're saying. The payment to the person in possession of the instrument must be under circumstances which do not afford a reasonable ground for believing that he is not entitled to receive payment of the amount mentioned in the instrument. I am the holder of this instrument, and the payment is going to be paid to myself only. I am not a thief of this instrument. I just I am not done any malpractice to receive this instrument. In good faith, I received this instrument, and I am going to receive this payment. Okay. Payment in due course result in discharge of the instrument. Discharge of the instrument means the instrument is converted. Instrument is properly enforced, legally enforced, and I am going to receive payment out of that instrument. Payment in due course results in discharge of instrument. Submitting check, when I will get the payment, when the check is presented with the banker, then only I will get the payment. Payment is to be payment in due course if it is satisfied the following condition. Again, they are repeating the same thing. First thing is, it is in accordance with the tenor of the instrument. Before due date, before maturity date, I have to a payment before the maturity date is not a payment according to the apparent tenor of the instrument. Yes, of course. Due date. What is the due date? On that date only I am eligible for payment. Not like that. Before now itself you give me, not acceptable. But the check, it is acceptable. Check anytime you can ask money. But bill of exchange and other things, which date I mentioned, that date only you should ask me. Before that, you should not ask me anything. Like credit card due. Credit card due becomes payable only on due date. If you want to pay, you can pay in advance. That is your problem. But bank will not ask you pay me before this. They will not ask. They will ask after the thing only. After expiry of due date only, they will ask. Second point, it is made on behalf of drawee or acceptor. It must be made in money terms. It must be made in money term only, which includes check and currency notes. The holder of The holder of negotiable instrument cannot be forced to accept payment in any other mode except with his consent. What they are saying, it is made on behalf of drawee means banker or debtor or acceptor is like a debtor. Okay, it must be made in money term only. How much I am going to, you have to pay, or how much you are ready to pay, that amount should be mentioned properly. And you should not tell to the recipient, that is payee, who is going to receive the money. Instead of 50,000 I have to pay now, instead of 50,000 you keep this Samsung mobile phone. Money, I am not able to pay money, you keep this mobile instead of money. So without his consent, it is not possible. Without the consent of that fellow who is going to pay, that receiver, he has to accept that. Otherwise, it is not possible. It is made to the person in possession of the instrument also entitled to payment. Whom I am going to pay? Holder of the instrument. Holder and also possession of the instrument. He should be the legally valid holder for that instrument. A is telling to B to pay to C. If D is having that instrument, I will not pay. B will say I will not pay. Remember A, B example. A is a creditor, B is a debtor. A tell to B to pay to C. But D is having that instrument now, B will not pay. Because I am not the possession of the instrument. C is eligible to receive the amount. D is not eligible to receive the amount because it is mentioned clearly in the bill of exchange. Okay, it is made in good faith, without negligence and under bona fide circumstances. If a check bears forged signature of the drawer, the payment will not be payment in due course. So the banker fails to exercise the necessary care. Sometimes what will happen? Check duplicate signature, fraud signature, someone will do, and they will submit present to the banker. Banker will do lot of workings and a lot of analysis. They will have some specimen copy of your signature already. They will compare both, whether it is matching properly or not. If it is matching, then only they will process. If signature is not matching, the banker will call the customer. Sir, your signature is not proper. You put signature properly and send back the documents again. Like that, they will banker will have to ask the customer. Okay. Differences between last point is there is no ground for believing that the possessor is not entitled to receive the payment. Banker should not think someone is presenting check now. The banker should not get confusion whether this fellow is definitely the holder of this check. Drawer gave this check to payee. He is the actual payee, or I have a doubt. This fellow does not look like an actual payee. He might be a thief also. He wrongly did something and collected the check and he put the signature of the original owner and he is trying to get the money. Like that, banker may think also. There is no ground for believing that possessor is not entitled to receive payment. Banker should not think like that. Sometimes it will happen. Someone will present check without the knowledge of the original holder of the check, without the knowledge of the drawer, without the knowledge of the maker who is going to sign the check. They will simply loot the check from the maker and they will try to sign according similar to maker and they will present to the bank. This thing may not be known by the drawer or maker, the original owner of the check. That might happen. So banker will do a lot of analytics and he will confirm whether he is a receiver, he is actually entitled for payment or not. Okay. Differences between promissory note, bill of exchange, and check. So promissory note is a promise given by debtor to creditor. Promissory note is a promise given by the borrower to the lender. Borrower is writing on document, sir, I will pay you, I promise to pay you so and so amount on this date or something like that. Who is creating that? Borrower, debtor is writing that and he is signing and stamping and signing and give it to lender or creditor. He is promising to pay some amount. Some amount means some specific amount. Then maker and payee. Payee is going to receive the money. Bank, that is a lender or you can say creditor, is going to receive the money from maker. Maker is the person who borrowed the money. He will create, yes sir, I borrowed this much money, I will promise to pay this much amount to you within this period, like that. He will sign and give it to payee. Okay. Parties, two parties, maker and payee in case of promissory note. Bill of exchange, normally three parties. A is a drawer, B is a drawee, and C is a payee. Sometimes A himself payee also. A himself payee also. Drawer and payee will be the same person also. In case of bill of exchange, A will write, you have to give me this much amount on this much day to myself itself. Then drawer itself, a payee. A is telling to B, listen, you have to pay me this much amount on this day. Then B will sign the document means, and B is paying to A itself means, then A is a drawer as well as payee. A is a creator of the document and accepted by B, and B is again paying to A itself, and A becomes payee also. That is also a one scenario. Okay. So three parties generally, drawer, drawee, and payee. Check, again three parties. Drawer, maker of the check, who is having who is signing the check, maker, and drawee, banker, who is going to pay the money to payee. Payee may be the maker or any other person. If maker is saying pay to Chandramogan, then Chandramogan is a payee. A is saying pay to Chandramogan, then Chandramogan becomes payee. He will receive money from bank, then bank is a drawee. Banker, instead of drawee, they are mentioning as a banker. Here, drawee, banker, both are same. Okay, drawer, banker, and payee, three parties. Are you with me? Do you are able to understand what I'm saying? Or it is confusing? Are you able to understand? Are you with me? Yes, sir. Okay. Is it understandable? What I am discussing is understandable, or it is tough to understand? Yes, sir. Okay. So nature contains an unconditional promise by maker to pay the payee. Yes, unconditional promise, promissory note. I will pay 1 lakh rupees on this date with the rate of interest this much to payee unconditionally. I will not tell any other stories. No stories. Only amount I will pay means I will pay. Promising means I have to pay. Got it? Unconditionally I have to pay. Then bill of exchange contains an unconditional order to the drawee to pay the pay. Yes, A is telling to B, B should accept and he should pay. Acceptor is the payee. Acceptor is the drawee. Sorry, acceptor is not payee. Acceptor is a drawee who is accepting the bill. B is accepting. You got it? What he is accepting? He is ready to pay. To pay. That is what he is accepting. Unconditionally. Again, check, drawn on specified banker to pay on demand. Yes, it is also unconditional. Whenever I'm asking the money, you should pay immediately. Check. Whenever I'm presenting, you have to pay. No timeline, nothing. Acceptance, not necessary in case of promissory note, because it is created by debtor. Debtor is saying, I promise to pay so and so amount to this person on within this date, and signed by debtor itself, and it is handed over to creditor. So not acceptance is not required, because Who borrowed the money is created the document. Then who will accept? He has to accept. Debtor only acceptance required. No other acceptance is required. Bill of exchange, but acceptance is required by the acceptor. Acceptor is a drawee, because drawer is writing the document. A is writing the document and send it to B. B is the debtor. A is the creditor. Creditor is writing the document and send it to B. B is a debtor. B has to accept that document written by A. What is accept? Yes, I will pay you. That is the acceptance. Check not necessary. I will, customer signature is there, amount is there, everything is correctly written, banker will pay. He will not accept, he will not reject. It is not like that. No acceptance required. If everything is clear in the check, then he will pay. Then liability of maker is primary and absolute. Yes, promise, who made the promise? Debtor is made the promise, borrower is made the promise. Absolutely and unconditionally, what is mentioned, they have to deliver. Okay. So like this, you study for the rest of the points, or I will complete myself. Notice of dishonor, not necessary, necessary, not necessary. Notice of dishonor, not necessary. Yes, I need not to give any notice in case of promissory note, because he is promised to pay means he has to promise. He has to satisfy the promise. Bill of exchange, I have to give notice to my drawee. In check also not necessary. Okay. Payable on demand or after a specified time. Yes, not on demand. They will mention the date. Within this date I will pay, means they have to pay this date. Bill of exchange also depends on the nature. What written in the document is important. What is the timeline is given, that is important. It is on demand means they have to pay as on demand. If it is specified some date means they have to pay within that date. But check is always on demand. No timeline, nothing. Check is always on demand only. Whenever I'm presenting the check, they have to pay. Crossing, not possible. Crossing, promissory note, no one will cross. Bill of exchange, no one will cross. But the check, they will cross. It is possible. Crossing the check means many reasons. Transfer to particular account. Transfer to bank account. No cash transaction allowed. Noting and protesting in case of dishonor, which means if the person is not repaying means I have to do some procedure. Noting and protesting, I have to protest in bank. It is a legal formality. That legal formality is not applicable to promissory note and check, but it is applicable for bill of exchange. Grace period, available if payable after specified time. Available if payable after specified time. Not available. 3 days grace period is there na. 3 days, 3 days, 3 days. 3 days applicable promissory note, bill of exchange, but not applicable for check. Check, when I am present, immediately they have to pay. No grace period. Other features, number, date, place, essential must be stamped. Stamping is required for promissory note and bill of exchange. Stamp, we have to get the signature. Okay, maker signature, acceptor signature. We have to get it. In case of promissory note, maker signature is required. In case of bill of exchange, acceptor drawee signature is required. But check, we will not find any stamp and all. Stamping is not required for check. Okay. I am moving to next thing. Noting and protesting in case of dishonor, in the sense it is a legal action taken against the drawee by the drawer. It is a formal legal procedure. Noting is one step, that I am informing, and I am protesting in the sense I am doing some legal action against the particular drawee. Okay, it is a legal action available in case of bill of exchange. There is a procedure. Okay. Crossing, meaning definition and types of crossing. Crossing, meaning, definition and types of crossing. A check may be a, I'm reading the next point. A check may be a open check or a crossed check. The form may be presented across the counter for payment. The later will have to be presented through another banker. What they are saying? What they are saying? A check may be a open check or a crossed check. Open check means what? Simply take this check and go to the bank counter and collect the money, collect the cash from the cashier. That is open check. No crossing happened. Simply go to blank check also sometimes, or bearer check. I am taking this check and I am going to the bank counter, cash counter, and I am presenting the check and I am collecting the cash. That's it. Okay. So crossed check. That's now, just now we discussed. Now what is cross check? Just now we discussed. Crossing on the check, two lines, parallel lines. Two parallel lines written left side corner of the check. Draw two parallel lines the left side corner of the check. Why? Cash withdrawal is not possible. Only bank transfer allowed. That is the purpose of crossed check. That's what I discussed already. Now, meaning of crossing. I'll get into the meaning of crossing. Just go through meaning of crossing. Just go through meaning of crossing. What is mentioned meaning of crossing? Just read the theory. Just read the theory. The act of drawing, the act of two diagonal or transverse parallel lines on the face of check is called crossing of the check. Two lines, I am like a railway track, railway track. Two lines will be there now in railway track. That two lines alone, I am parallelly drawing in the left side of the check. Generally, it is a customary practice that we have to draw in the left side of the check, corner of the left side of the check. In other words, a crossed check, one which has two transverse parallel line. Transverse parallel line. Crossing is a direction to the banker, not to pay the money across the counter. Don't pay in cash. That is the meaning of crossing. Don't pay in cash. Only account transfer is eligible. It means the banker should pay the money only through banker. Means I will transfer only through bank only, not cash. Object of crossing. Object of crossing, what is the purpose of crossing? The main object of crossing is to give protection and safeguard to the owner of the check. The crossed check cannot be paid again and again. They are repeating the same thing. Nothing new. So I'm leaving object of crossing. Object of crossing was no cash transfer. Only bank account transfer is allowed. Okay. Kind of types of crossing. We'll come to types of crossing. General crossing, special crossing. General crossing, special crossing. What do you mean by general crossing? General crossing or special crossing? Any idea between general crossing and special crossing? General crossing, special crossing. Any idea? We will discuss first general crossing. So it's a general crossing is nothing but two lines. See here, A is also general crossing, B is also general crossing, C is also general crossing, D is also general crossing, E is also general crossing, F is also general crossing. General crossing means I'm drawing two lines. Why I am drawing two lines? It should be transferred to account holder, bank account only. It should not be paid in cash. For that, it is a procedure that I can follow all these things, A, B, C, D, E, F. All these things are general crossing only. What is under company, under co, under not negotiable, pay is account. All these things means we have to transfer the amount to the bank account only. Cash is not allowed. Not negotiable. I will explain what is not negotiable. What is not negotiable? Under pay account, under rupees. All these things are customs. Just I'm putting some word, but purpose is same. What is the purpose? Bank transfer only. Not negotiable. Something different. I will explain that. So general crossing. I'm reading now. Where a check bears across its face an addition to the words undergo or any abbreviation there between two parallel line transfer lines or two parallel transfer is simply either with or without the not negotiable. That addition shall be deemed as a crossing and check shall be deemed to be crossed generally. Anything you write, but with not negotiable or negotiable, not a problem. Not negotiable is something different, I will tell you. But other than that, pays account, under co, under rupees are leave blankly also. That is also same purpose. Nothing is written inside the gap. First you see the first A point number A. Nothing is written. Same meaning. Under co, same meaning. Under co, same meaning. Not negotiable. Something different. I will explain. Pay is account, same meaning. Under rupees, same meaning. What is the meaning? Transfer to bank account. No cash is allowed. That is general crossing. Okay. Then what is not negotiable? What is not negotiable? What is negotiable first? Negotiable means what? It is not only transferable. There is something more. Negotiable means the holder is getting better title than the previous holder. The holder is getting better title than the drawer. That is the meaning actually. Holder is getting better title than the drawer. That means whoever having that instrument, na, they can go and legally ask the bank, you give me the money, I am the holder of this instrument, with the due course. Holder in due course means good faith. You should not do fraudulent activity. Good faith, some consideration, there is some timeline. Good faith, consideration is required. Okay, belief, knowledge, good faith. You should not do fraudulent activity. That is what they are saying. Holder in due course. Okay. So I hope all of you able to understand what I'm saying. I hope all of you able to understand what I'm saying. Or you feel anything tougher? It's confused. I'll explain. So general crossing is simple crossing two lines. That's it. You write whatever you want. Under go you write. Pays account you write. Under rupee you write. Or you don't write anything. What is the purpose? Purpose is only one purpose. If it is crossed means then it is not payable in hand. It is payable only in bank account. Holder of the instrument bank account. Say for example, I simply wrote, I filled the amount, I signed the check and I put two lines, but I didn't write anything. I forgot to write name, but I am not given the name. Name I didn't write. I hand over. A is preparing on check. A is preparing on check. writing amount, figures, sign, and is also crossing and hand over to B. Now tell me what B should do. He has to write pay to Mr. B, pay to Mr. B, pay to Mr. B. Then B is going to bank na, then he is depositing the check na, then banker will ask B, whether you are a B or not. Yes, if you are a B, then give me your bank account because A is crossed the check. Okay, B is presenting the check at bank and banker will say you give me your bank account. We will transfer this money from A's bank account because A is crossed the check. So older in due course, who is older in due course, A or B? Who is holding the instrument? Who is holding the instrument? A or B here? Older in due course. Who is the older in due course here? A or B? B is older in due course. So he is eligible for getting the money. Okay. And say for example, in the same check, A is simply what he is doing now. A is simply writing two lines. In between, he is writing not negotiable. In between, he is writing not negotiable. Not negotiable means what? What is the meaning now? A has prepared one check and he is hand over to B, but he didn't prepare. He didn't mention the name. Simply he mentioned not negotiable, but it does not put name of B. You got it on what I'm saying? He does not put the name of B. Simply he handed over the check to B. B, while taking the check into the bank, he lost the check. B lost the check. And there is a guy is called C. See what he did, he collected the check. And he is seeing the check. Nil, blank check. Sign is there. Only crossing is there, but name is not there. If I write C, then I can take this money. Then see what he is doing. C has to pay. C needs to pay some amount to D. C needs to pay some amount to D. C telling to D. C telling to D. See, I have this check, blank check. No name is written, but in crossing it, they written as not negotiable. Not negotiable. That original owner written, but no other thing he written. Only sign amount only is there. C is telling to D. You D take this check and you go to bank and collect money from bank directly. They will pay you. Banker should pay or they should not pay. Tell me. D is going to bank and he is writing Mr. D and he is asking money from bank. Bank will pay or they will not pay. A is given check to B. D lost the check. D lost the check. C collected the check and D it is given to D. D is going to bank and he is asking the check. Sorry, he is asking the money. Whether bank will pay to D or they will not pay. But in check, not negotiable word is mentioned. Not negotiable word is mentioned. You tell me whether D can get the money from bank or not. Tell me. I'm asked a question to you. They will pay. What about others? Understood? You are able to understood the example? You are able to understand the example? Not. A is there. A is creating the check. He is signing the check. Just he crossed the check. Like this, he crossed the check, but he didn't write the name. Okay, and he is handing over to B. And he is telling, you write your name and you go to bank and you collect the money from the banker. Like that he is saying. But B, while going to bank, he lost the check, but he is also not written his name in the check. He got the check and he saw the check, blank check, no name is mentioned. And he is handed over to D. D is going to bank and he is putting Mr. D and he is asking from bank whether bank should pay or they should not pay. That is my question. They pay. What about others? Pay, sir. They should pay. Generally, they should pay because holder of the instrument. Who is holder? D is the holder of the instrument. But intelligently, what A did na, he written one word as not negotiable. Not negotiable means what, you know? Holder of the instrument should prove that he is a valid legal owner of that instrument, legal holder of that instrument. If not negotiable is mentioned in the check, na, then the banker will call the original maker. Sir, this check is there. You mentioned not negotiable. Whether we should pay to D or not. It is the responsibility of banker to ensure that. It is the responsibility of banker to ensure that this holder of this instrument is eligible to receive the money. That is the specialty of not negotiable. You understood the not negotiable specialty? All other things, nothing. Say for example, nothing, sir, not negotiable is not mentioned, sir. Then he is eligible because holder of the instrument is already. It is not questioned. Holder of the instrument, holder in due course is not questioned. But not negotiable is there. It may be questioned also. You got it on what I'm saying? That is the specialty of not negotiable. Banker should ask the maker, sir, there is a check, sir. You signed the check. You mentioned as not negotiable. Just you confirm whether you only made this check and you made for this fellow called D. Then A will tell, no, I gave the check to B only. B lost the check. So don't honor the check, cancel the check. Like that A can tell. That is not negotiable. Okay, understood? So I think I gave the lengthy explanation. But now what is the what is the difference between A, B, C, D, E, F, sir? A, B, C, E, F, all are same only. What is the purpose? All are crossed check. All are crossed check. What is the use of crossed check? It can be deposited, it can be transferred only to bank account. Okay? Pay is bank account. It gives a direction to the paying banker. Effect of general crossing I'm reading. It gives a direction to the paying banker. Section 126 of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 lays down, when a check is crossed, generally the banker on whom it is drawn shall not pay it otherwise to a banker. Therefore, this type of check cannot be paid to counter. Again, they are repeating same thing. Do not pay in cash, pay in bank account, transfer to bank account. Okay? The add bullet point I'm reading. It is the liability of the paying banker to verify proper payment in proper account. The payment does not constitute payment in due course. The banker is answerable to his customer if he pays money to third person without the direction of his customer. He should not make any contract with third party concerning the check generally crossed. Of course, you should how to prevent this type of loss, how to prevent this type of fraud. When I'm making the check itself, I should not make blank check. I have to write the name. I have to write the company name. I have to write the individual name. Then no one can do fraud easily. I'm crossing the check as well as writing the name of the what you can say pay's name also I'm writing in the check. Means who will do fraud? Crossing pay's name is also written. That means that particular pay's bank account only the amount can be transferred. But only I crossed the pay name I didn't return means then you are taking the risk. Whoever having that check, they can write their name and they can present in the bank. That's why blank check you should not write. Blank check you should not sign. You got it or not? While taking loans, a banker will credit card, credit loan, bank loan, name this bike loan and all. They will ask blank check from you. Why they are asking? Simply blank check amount signature they will ask. Why they are asking? If you don't pay the loan properly, then they will put their name in the check and they will deposit in bank. If check bounce na, then they will take action against you under the check bounce, under the Negotiable Instrument Act. There is some provision for that. Because check bounce means it is an non-bailable offense kind of thing. You will be put in jail immediately, like that. Where the name should be there, sir. Between cross or in the name place. Name place only. Cross only in account pay. Or something you have to write under company like that. Pay to so and so person will be order. Pay order. Pay order to Balakannan. Pay order to Vishwa. Pay order to Preeti. Pay order to Shruti. Pay order to Vanita. Pay order to Gokul. Pay order to Sureka. Like that. Got it? So, if you are writing blank check, then it is very difficult to save. Special crossing. General crossing is over. Then come to special crossing. What is the difference between general crossing and the special crossing? Sometimes, what will happen in that crossing? In that crossing, what will happen? No, two lines is there. No, in between the two line, here they forgot to include that special crossing. They forgot to include here. In that two lines, they should write a particular bank name, State Bank of India, which means this check can be this check can be presented only in State Bank of India, not other banks. You got it or not? So if I want to encash if I want to get the money now, then I should be a State Bank account holder. Then only I can get this money. You got it or not? What I'm saying? All other banks not allowed. Wherever you are having bank account, not allowed. Any bank not permitted. If I'm mentioning State Bank of India, then this can be converted into money only with State Bank of India. Sir, I don't have State Bank of India account. I have only Punjab National Bank account. Then you cannot make money. You cannot get money from this. Pay cannot get money from this. They cannot, bank cannot honor the check. You should have a State Bank of India account to get this money. That is called special crossing. Specially created for particular bank. Check is specially created for particular bank. Where a check bears across its face in addition of the name of a banker. You remember, in addition of the name of a banker, either with or without words not negotiable. That addition shall be deemed a crossing, and the check shall be deemed to be crossed specifically and to be crossed to that banker only. Which means this check you can present only with the State Bank of India. If you don't have account in that bank, then I cannot help you. We will deal only with the State Bank because we are regular customer. They know about me. They know about me and my customers. So if new person is coming, they will not give money. They have already database of my customer. If new customer is there, then they will ask me. If a new person is coming with check, they will ask me whether we should pay to this fellow or not, because he is not in our list. You got it? It is like a control between customer and the bank. Okay? Understood? Understood? So special crossing I'll explain in next class, and I'll try to complete the special crossing, double crossing, as well as something we left out at the beginning, right? That also I will cover. Possibly I will try to complete the law in next class, so that the session will be over. Correct? Session will be over if I complete this Negotiable Instrument Act successfully. And also I am uploading all these videos in the YouTube also. You can go through from there. Okay, and if you have any doubts in my discussion which I am not explained, or if you are not able to understood still, you can message me also. I'll explain you. Okay, and I will share my, I shared my number also, and I will share the channel this name also. You can view the uploaded video. I took around 6 classes. All the 6 classes is already uploaded in the channel. We can go through and from there also, and you can even message me your doubts also. Okay, for the day the class is completed. So thanks for patient listening. We'll meet in our next class. Okay, and based on your feedback and interest, if time permits, I may post some videos on contract also, act also in my channel. It's totally depends on your interest. If you want me to do that, I will try to cover that also. Okay, okay, thank you all of you.